Hi, this is Carly Queen 113, and this is my thoughts on Fairy Tale Chapter 490. First of all, this chapter was awesome. So I really wish I had done a live review because of the stuff that happened in this chapter, but I haven't. So anyhow, we have it open to see what happened exactly with what did Eileen do. So it opens up with saying everything's gone up with the light. And then after it goes through pictures, we get to the part where Mavis wakes up and she's naked and she doesn't know where anybody is. So she's getting up. It's not very easy for her to move, but she's still able to do it. So she runs up the stairs, and this is what made me laugh. So once she runs up the stairs, who's waiting? Everybody in Fairy Tale is gone, except for Zeref. Zeref is there. This picture, it was like he was there sitting like a boss. He was like oh, on one of the chairs of Fairy Tale. He's like, oh yes, I own this place. And Mavis is all like, holy crap. And he was all like, hello. And then the part that I thought was funny was that she's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, she's like, what business do you have doing here? And he's like, well, what business do you have doing alive? And I was like, ooh, burn. But it was a good line. Anyhow, after that we go into whatever happened to everybody else, and it seems that everybody is in random areas. We have Natsu and Lucy in some kind of forest, where Natsu is groping Lucy and sitting on her, and she's all like, you can stop groping me anytime, you can stop mounting me anytime. So we have them, then we go into where August and them are, we go into where everybody else in Fairy Tale is. And then we get to the part where Eileen is on the throne and she's all like, I did this power, I didn't realize it would work. And everybody was kind of sent in random places. But can you please tell me where I'm at? And then that made me laugh. And she was actually in, what is it, the place from the Grand Magic game? She was just in the castle. And everybody's all like, who are you and how did you get here? So, and then after that, we go on to Gajeel swimming somewhere, and he gets on the island. He's all like, what am I doing here? Where am I? And he's all like, and then Zeira shows up, and he's like, are you here in hell with me? And she's like, well, I'm the fairy of origin. So that's basically a rundown of the chapter. The parts that I think was cool was the part where obviously, well, I forgot to mention this, but at the beginning of the chapter, I used to have this theory that Zeira was actually some kind of fairy. That maybe she was like a fairy protecting Mavis, which would be cool if she was. But she was using Zeira's body as a disguise because Zeira was who Mavis knew. But at the beginning of this part, before Mavis wakes up, we have this flashback scene of her saying goodbye to Zeira, and she's like, I don't want you to leave. And then Zeira's like, well, so tell me, where do you think the fairies are? And Mavis is like, well, in my heart. And then Zeira's like, well, then what does that make me? So I was thinking a long time ago, I think from one of the scenes, that she was some type of fairy because there was a picture of her where she was watching the fairies fly by. And this part kind of pointed to that fact. So I like to think that's true. And then she says, I'm never gonna leave you. Just know I'm always with you. And then Mavis wakes up and that's where we find Zeref. So that being said, Zeira is a fairy. It makes me wonder just how much of the fairy magic has to do with her. But that's yet to be decided. Anyhow, that was one point that I was thinking about she could possibly be there. Another part was Zeref looking like a boss. Like he totally owned the place. So it was the reunion, and I wasn't obviously a happy reunion, which I didn't expect. But I guess it wasn't that. I just thought it was interesting how he went over there and he's all like, well, I'm so close to Fairy Heart now. And I was thinking this whole time, I was like, you know, this would be like, this is like a really bad situation for Mavis. I mean, but I was thinking that since they're there, since they had this whole hate thing going on, and then they said that they loved each other, I kind of wanted this, I just think it would be kind of cool to have this Mask of Zorro type fight scene where Zeref and Mavis are fighting, and then they throw in a kiss or two. That's just what I thought about when I thought, you know, because he's evil. He's totally looking evil. And he's like, I have Fairy Heart, just what I have always wanted, and you're right here in front of me, and you're alive at that. So I'm just kind of like, is he gonna try to kill her again? And if he does try to kill her, is he gonna find out that she's naked? Because her dress is just an illusion. So, anyhow, I'm hoping to see like a Mavis and Zeira fight. And just because I'm a romantic, I want to have this fight. Like, I hate you, I'm going to kill you, but Mavis can't fight so well. And then like they throw in a couple where like I thought it'd be a perfect trap for them. They're both by themselves in the guild, where like he kisses her or something, just to prove his power. I know that's not really the happiest thing, but it would be interesting to see. Mostly just the fighting and the sparks flying at the same time. So after that part, what do you think? So after that, we just get into like, you know, where everybody is at, and it makes me wonder what's going to happen. With Natsu and Lucy, there's just one part where there's a snake, and I'm wondering if that snake is going to lead. It could just be a snake, but it'd be cool if it led into the final Spriggan being found. Oh, by the way, Brandish healed August, and then they'd have to fight the final Spriggan. Now, I guess, so aside from all that, going to the part where everybody's in different areas, it seems that everybody who was in the guild is right next to Zeref's army. So they're going to be fighting Invel. Whoever's there is going to be fighting Invel. I'm not sure who Gray and Julie are going to fight. I'm guessing it's going to be somebody we haven't fought yet, or maybe they're going to, or maybe Gajeel is back. I think Gajeel, he's the sand guy, right? If he's back, because they're in a desert, and it would be a good place for them to fight him. And Natsu and Lucy are in a forest. I don't recall anybody having forest strengths or whatever, but that could be the final Spriggan has some kind of forest power. Or they could be bumping into technology. I think one of these groups is going to be fighting technology. I just don't know which. But it would be interesting to see. Anyhow, aside from that, we get where everybody's switched up. We have, you know, Mira Jane and them all right next to Zeref's army and Invel. So one of those guys is going to be fighting Invel, which is going to be interesting to see. And then the last part that we have was where, and then of course we have Eileen. So I'm guessing who's ever in that castle is going to fight Eileen. And so it's quite possible that some of the wizards or some of the wizards were sent there as well. That'll be interesting to see. And then, last but not least, we get to the part of Gajeel. I really wanted to talk about this part because I've had some people feel like Gajeel's alive out there, he'd be alive, blah blah blah. But I'm kind of coming to the conclusion that unless Hero specifically says that Gajeel is alive, he's actually still dead. And that where he finds Zeira is like a fairy tale, so where all the fairy tale people go after he died. And I guess that would be permanent if we see Ward and Yuri and all them showing up as well. So I just kind of want to point out there's nothing. People think that Gajeel's alive now, but there really is no reason to believe that he's alive because he was taken down to the underworld. He said he was completely magic particles. So it's very likely that this is just his spirit or whatever, and his spirits come to fight to be with Zeira, or maybe he turned into like a fairy, an actual fairy. But this is the part where it makes me wonder about Zeira being a fairy. I know she says she's just the origin of fairies, which could be just because she was one of the founders of fairy tale, but the real Zeira died when she was just a kid. And in that flashback, Zeira's like, you're not alone anymore, so I don't have to stay here anymore. And then she's all like, and then Mavis is like, fairies are in my heart, and she's like, well, what does that make me? So I'm hoping to find out. I'm still thinking that Zeira is actually a fairy, or she's taken on the powers of a fairy, and that this part is some kind of fairy tale underworld. So until I can specifically say Gajeel is alive, I don't think he's alive. So after we go into that part, I just want you to think about that, because Zeira did die a long time ago. And if you remember also in the Grand Magic games, when Lucy died, she joined everybody, and they were on like a golden plane type thing. So this could be kind of another aspect of that, or it could just be Tenor Island as a fairy tale resting place, or a fairy wizard resting place. So aside from that, the next chapter is called Mother and Child, and I'm thinking either has to do with Urza and Eileen, or which would be an interesting choice would be Levy, if Levy got a kid, with a relation to Gajeel. I think that would be interesting. So I'm excited about the next chapter. I guess I'll do a live review. It doesn't sound like it's going to be exciting. Just the title doesn't seem very exciting, but it's only because like when I was doing this one, I read the chapter and realized I should have done a live review, but I didn't. So I'll be going for that. Now, as to other points, what do you think about what I mentioned? Do you think Zeira is a fairy? Do you think we're going to see some kind of fighting stuff between Mavis and Zeref? I guess that's pretty much the most I wanted to say. And that's all. I really hope to see. So tell me what you think. This was a really good chapter. I thought it was a really good chapter personally, and I'm excited for the next one. And for the next chapter, do you think it's going to be about Urza and her possible mother, or do you think it could be something else? Well, thank you, and that's all. Hope you enjoy. Bye.